Batman can handle most things that are thrown at him. Super or magical powers seem to mess with his head somewhat though. This list is packed with metaphysical, psychological, and physical abilities and heinous drawbacks. Fear not, because Batman's top of the DC universe for a reason. He's world class in almost every department, so superpowers are just another challenge to conquer. Don't drive yourself batty trying to stay up to date with all our videos. You'll feel CBR's power if you click the subscribe button. Polish off your utility belt.
You're as blind as a bat!
Exactly.
Batman Forever. Way back in 1999, the Aegis scum laid two of DC's most prominent comic heroes with the everyday reality that you and I have to contend with every frickin' day. And that day in, day out is our eventual decrepitude. The series Superman and Batman Generations introduced the what if these two aged like regular Joes. As the Man of Steel developed a silvery mane of hair in this splintered storyline, Batman bathed in the ultimate cheat in the Lazarus Pit, awashed in its rejuvenating waters, but it's gotta be hard to see your counterparts and loved ones slowly age before his eyes. All their adventures stemming from their debut editions that was so instrumental of securing the prominence of DC Comics. The twist of this reimagining presented 2 stories per issue and spaced each story by a decade, concluding in 2029. Supe's Kryptonian genes considerably slows his aging process. Bat's got the pit to keep that spring in his step, at least in this 5-year run. That's 99 years of crime fighting, and this was the first of 3 generations. Spanks much?
Theatricality and deception are powerful agents. You must become more than just a man in the mind of your opponent.
Bat magic. Zatanna may look like a token fishnet stocking assistant for a magician. Zatanna also has more chops than any smoky nightclub magician. She's among the most potent sorcerers in the DC-verse. Batman and Zatanna have become acquainted during the time with the Justice League. Over that time, she taught him some magic tricks. We doubt that she showed him parlor tricks like making coins disappear or pulling a rabbit out of his hat. A smart move for when the Justice League contended against Kirky. Zatanna was drained from using too much magic in the battle, so Batman let fire his newfound sorcery and brought her enough time to recoup. In Batman and Robin's Magical Powers, released in March 1962, had a little bit of magic bestowed to them as well. Absurd powers nonetheless. The Golden Era romp has Batmite seemingly endow the dynamic duo with the power to manipulate rope, steel, rubber, and wood. We told you it was ridiculous. It turns out that Batmite has been shadowing them like Casper the Friendly Ghost, maintaining the illusion as they're trying to rescue a magician that Gotham City's underworld is kidnapped, thinking that the magician can grant the villains special powers. The duo discover Batmite's participation and free the hostage.
And why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you?
God of Knowledge. Have a seat, Batman. We're sure that being godlike can tucker a mere mortal out. To be accurate, in Justice League number 42, Batman plunked himself into Metron's chair. He did so in order to curtail the interstellar dimensional rift from opening. This rift, otherwise known as a doom tube, will open a whole can of whoop ash on the Justice League and Metron, unleashing Darkseid and the Anti-Monitor. And who wants to deal with those guys? Before Batman can make his butt's impression on the seat, he receives god-esque powers. Continuing the Darkseid War storyline, Batman can ask the chair any question under the sun and get a true answer. First off, he asks for his identity of his parents' killer. He receives the answer that he already knows. Batman poses a second question: what is the Joker's true identity? The Throne's reply rocks Bruce Wayne to his very core, hoisting Batman to god status in the DC Comics universe, and Jeff Johns' treatment of the Dark Knight is not uncommon, but who's gonna complain about a Bat God? All the while not forgetting to humanize Wayne in the process. Do you think revisiting the Bat God is next to, well, godliness?
Thermal imaging is showing me 24 hostiles on the 3rd floor. Why don't I drop you off on the 2nd?
Gonna go bat in time. There are timelines and then there are timelines. In the conclusion of Final Crisis, from Batman the Return of Bruce Wayne, Darkseid teleported the Dark Knight all the way back to the Paleolithic era to commence a highly diabolical plot. Now, whether or not Batman has literal control over his destiny is a moot point, because he jumped throughout the major points of Earth's history. During Wayne's epic adventure, he was nearly killed by a tribe of Neanderthals, led by none other than Vandal Savage, a run-of-the-mill caveman who was granted super intelligence, strength, and immortality. Seems like a common affliction in the DC-verse. Batman almost bought the farm in a struggle with Vandal, and he bailed over a waterfall to emerge in the witch-burning Puritan period, 2017. Haha, we joke, we kid, more like the 1600s. From witch hunts to meeting the infamous pirate Blackbeard to the gunslinging Wild West, the endgame played by Darkseid became known. Each jump through time gradually brings Batman closer to a WMD, and each jump gathers more energy until he's brought back to the present to nuke the entire world. Luckily, this plot was averted.
Boy, you are in for a show tonight, son.
The real Batman. If Lex Luthor's in the mix, it's just magic. So magical, in fact, that the Dark Knight gets to embrace his spirit animal, a small and inconsequential detail for gaining the true powers of a bat, courtesy of Luthor's Amazo Virus, a virus that is lethal for those who have superpowers. Getting superpowers ought not to include gradual insanity, exploding brains, and the eternal dirt nap in the final stages of the infection. Batman fell victim to this synthetic virus in Justice League number 38 when Metron released it by accident. Whoops! While Batman was able to stand up on his own, he developed the bat-like echolocation abilities. We know the Caped Crusader is a gadget guy, but his sniffing out culprits via a radar mouth is pretty cool. We guess, but said power can also eviscerate his enemies. Way cooler. The Justice League luckily jumped the case to find a cure for him and those unfortunate metropolites that succumbed to the plague. Holy Toledo, even Lex Luthor did his sister and Wayne a solid by evacuating him from the contamination zone. Argus placed the city under lockdown until a cure is concocted, which they finally do, and averted a higher death toll. Batman recovered in the end, as we all know he usually does, and now he can own the name Batman.
My bats lost away.
That's frightened me. This time my enemies shared my dread.
A killer suit. Garments are key for any A-list superhero in order to keep up appearances amongst their peers. Superhero shaming is a serious problem, guys. In the resurrection of Ra's al Ghul, which ran between 2007 and 2008, gave us a glimpse at a crazy magical suit. He'll need an edge to take down Raz's ninja army. Well, Ra's al Ghul's daughter Talia slipped Bruce Wayne this bona fide magical threads we've been gabbing about. Talia must be a down lady because she bequeathed him the Suit of Sorrows. Yay! Honestly, heck yeah, because this said suit imbues its wearers with incredibly augmented powers. So they say, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And an all-powerful suit, granting you power, speed, and the fortitude to take on an ungodly beating has repercussions, or concussions. Prolonged exposure to the suit amps up violent rampages and mental instability. Hold up there, crazy pants. We said it a million times, fashion kills. Batman comes to his senses and mothballs the Suit of Sorrows in the Batcave. However, the Genie escapes this proverbial bottle when the suit is stolen and given to Michael Lane. He becomes Azrael, the angel of death in the Hebrew Bible. This has bad idea genes written all over it, don't you think?
Try as you may, you cannot outbat me.
Batmanula. Comics rule because they make the unlikely commonplace. In the DC universe, none other than Nosferatu can merge with the Batman without skipping a beat. Maz Shrek in our books is still among the creepiest characterizations ever committed to celluloid. In Batman, Earth 43, Batman and Dracula, Red Rain, the Caped Crusader learns an important lesson. He can flourish after being chomped on by a bona fide vampire. Dracula ought to be petrified. In the Red Rain, Gotham's homeless community start dropping like flies, and the authorities notice odd and gore slits on their neck. Hobo blood. Batman Sherlocks around and gets to the bottom of the mystery. Vampires. A whole stinking clan of them that he discovers in the city's sewers. Well, needless to say, he wiped them like you-know-what, and ending Dracula's immortality. Turns out Batman's also a dreamweaver, as he's visited during his sleepy time by Tanya, the vampire renegade leader of a group of others. Tanya, the others, and Batmanula lure the vampire horde to the Batcave. Batman fries them in the sunlight by collapsing the roof. Sunlight, it works every time.
There's nothing wrong with the microphone. It's this new layer of armor. I'll just have to rewire.
Symbiote suit. Spider-Man's #1 enemies, Venom Carnage and all the other symbiotes, in general don't care who their meal ticket is, as long as the fear is bloody and rare. BlackRock had a symbiote on his back, which in turn infected the Caped Crusader. This event was chronicled in DC's Superman Batman issue 28 to 33. This 8-year run presented each edition as standalone stories. The aforementioned scenario boosted Batman's abilities to something exceedingly impressive. Super everything that he used to clobber Superman, who was also under the spell of Blackrock's symbiote. Batman and Supes exclusively teamed up in this series, and they often differed in opinions. Eventually, they come to blows. The first proper appearance of the drug, Venom, was in Batman Venom, from the Batman anthology series, Legends of the Dark Knight. Batman became addicted to the stuff, and the perks of all this power will eventually kill you. His roid head anger and uncontrollable violence would eventually harm someone innocent, so he kicked that stuff to the curb.
I'm not going to kill you. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
Batman in a bottle. This one came right out of left field from 1963, Detective Comics number 322. Back in the hunky-dory golden age, the capers and misadventures were more than a little goofy. The Larko Lamp had been stolen by a band of crooks, and Batgirl, Robin and Batman were in hot pursuit. Stuff happens, and you chase after the magic, and the crooks doused Batman with magic powder. This mystical particulate tends to transform mortals into genies. Voila! The Caped Crusader becomes the male precursor to Genie in the popular 1960s TV sitcom, I Dream of Genie. All you need to do is look at this edition's cover. It's hilarious and ridiculous. Things do get a little bit sinister when the bad guys knew that sparkling the dust forced the dusty to submit to their wishes. Literally, we're talking about wishes and the unwitting Bruce Wayne granting them. The 3-wish clock starts to count down straight away, and that really put a britch in Robin and Batgirl's petite culotte. Their only recourse is to confront the criminals and steal back the Larko Lamp, and wish the last wish to bring Batman back to his normal playboy self.
The entire human race will be wiped out because you, Hal Jordan, were afraid. Beware my power. Green Lantern's life!
Black Lantern. Throughout Batman's illustrious career, he's tried out Green Lantern's power ring many times. For this episode, we're gonna look at DC's 1994's Batman in Darkest Night. The story picks up at Bruce Wayne's first foray into crime fighting, and it's not going so well. Gotham City's at the mercy of criminals run amok, and he's nursing his seminal scars and drinking a tall glass of goose eggs. Nothing a little convo with the dead can't solve. The ghostly guidance directs Waynes to a crashed spaceship to discover Avon Sewer, the Green Lantern, buying the farm. His last living deed was giving Batman his power ring. This is a life-changing turn of events. Batman takes the newfound power and takes a walk on the green side of Gotham, uprooting the Red Hood robbers and hand-delivers them to Commissioner Gordon. News travels fast, and the Guardians of the Universe recruit Green Bat to handle Sinestro, which he does handsomely, setting in motion a chain of events that cause a lot of galactic woe. Sinestro returns wearing a yellow power ring. He murders Gordon. Sinestro escapes to do the same thing to his butler dad, Alfred. In round 2, he escapes the Green Bat turn to wreak havoc on other worlds. It ain't easy being green.
You can't spend the rest of your life alone, dressed in black, listening to angry music and staying up all night.
Yes, I can, because I'm Batman.
Are superpowers as great as people think that they are? We've seen in our list that Batman was run through the mill adjusting to super life. Granted, some of these were in limited runs, however. Do you think it would be a great idea to give him superpowers 24/7? And if so, which power would suit the Dark Knight? Vampire or a genie? Let us know in the comments below. We hope that you liked this video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.